YBC Dole took disrespect to another level and even dug up his op's grave. One day, after he bragged about never getting touched, the ops caught up to him and left him dead in the street. It's one of the most brutal stories in the rap game, and today we're breaking the whole thing down. On August 23, 2024, YBC Dole and his homies were sitting in a whip on the 5500 block of North 6th Street in Philly when another car pulled up and started letting off shots. Dole got hit in the chest and hand and couldn't drive, so his homie got in the driver's seat and rushed him into a house a couple blocks away. His homies put Dole in another car and drove him to the hospital, but it was already too late, and Dole was pronounced dead later that day. The cops don't have any suspects, but they found a stolen car that had been set on fire close to the scene. They think the shooters burned the whip to get rid of the evidence. While the cops were still looking at Dole's crime scene, another dude got killed on the north side just a couple of hours after Dole died. The cops say a 33-year-old dude was walking down the 600 block of North 12th Street when two shooters pulled up and started shooting. The dude ran behind a whip, but the shooters kept letting off shots and hit a 9-year-old boy in the leg. Luckily, the kid survived, but the other guy was announced dead at the hospital. It's not clear if the shootings are related or not, but the violence definitely won't end. Before we dive into the brutal gang war tearing up Philly right now, we have to see how YBC Dole got wrapped up in everything and became the most hated rapper in Philly. Dole was raised on the north side when he was a kid, but when he turned 10 years old, his family moved to the west side. He got active in the streets at an early age, but back in the day, it wasn't anything too serious. Dole was jacking whips and taking off for joyrides. Then, at 14 years old, he caught his first case for stealing a car. Dole wasn't going to have to do a lot of time for taking the car, but then he caught another charge for beating someone up in school and got booked for aggravated assault. Dole ended up in juvie for a few years, but when he came home, the situation was about to really get deadly. After Dole moved to the west side, he got tight with a lot of people around the area and started running with them. But at first, none of them were gangbanging. They were all just trying to get money. That's when his homies came up with the name Young Bag Chasers, aka YBC. Back then, they were all focused on getting to the bag, but then one of their homies died, and everything changed. YBC started turning up in the streets. Dole was beefing with different crews around the city. He became known for dissing pretty much every gang in the city, and he self-snitched like crazy when he hopped on the track. YBC was tearing up the city, and they allegedly killed several people. Dole wasn't just putting pressure on the ops in the street, though. He was also dissing everyone on tracks. Dole's raps were known for being highly disrespectful. He would clown his dead ops, earning him the nickname Mr. Disrespectful. His disses put a huge target on his back, and he wasn't even safe outside of Philly. Dole went out to Washington, D.C. and allegedly got into a shootout right when he got to the city. He aired out the whole situation on IG Live, but it still didn't make him switch up how he moved. One day before YBC Dole got killed, a YouTuber named Brandon Buckingham dropped a video he made with Dole in Philly. Dole took him all over the hood and talked about Philly, even bragging about how no one had ever touched him in the streets.
I like that they hate me, that mean they like me, or they do something, like, for me, like, real with me, like, the street can vouch for me. Anywhere I go, nobody don't play with me. I never got robbed, I never got touched, shot at in the city, yet. I put this on my mom, like, if I could trade and turn, like, all this back, be something else, or, like, feel me, bro? I wish I had mine. Bro, I don't give a f about doing this right here, bro.
Oh, what up, bro?
I just do this now, cause it's like, if I don't do this, bro, I'm gonna be a nut ass if I don't make it out the hood. Like, if I don't get successful, bro, and get rich, bro, I'm gonna feel like I'm a nut ass, and I'm gonna feel like I failed all my homies.
Then, just one day later, the ops caught up to Dole and killed him in broad daylight. Along with the vlog, YBC Dole also dropped a music video with Brandon Buckingham called MC Buckingham, where he continued to diss his ops and reference McDonald's. After Dole was killed, Brandon received a lot of hate online, and even DJ Academics called him out for putting himself in the middle of the beef. YBC Dole's dad made a statement on Dole's Instagram after he was killed to clear up some of the rumors and talk about what happened. He admitted that Dole wasn't a saint and made a lot of enemies in Philly, but he thought it was some kind of targeted setup because that was the only way the shooters could get that close. What makes the situation even worse is that Dole was on his way up and wanted to make a change in the city. YBC Dole knew that YBC had been tearing the city up, But he wanted to give back and start building shelters and helping other people make it out of the trenches too. But before he could turn it all around and reach his full potential, Dole was tragically killed, and now the violence in Philly is probably about to turn up even more. YBC Dole's influence extended beyond just his music. His presence was felt throughout the streets and online. His Instagram lives and YouTube videos often featured him flaunting money, guns, and his fearless attitude. He wasn't afraid to call out anyone who disrespected him, and his boldness earned him a large following. Despite his aggressive persona, those close to him described Dole as someone who deeply cared for his community and wanted to see his friends and family succeed. In his final days, Dole had reportedly been working on a new project that he hoped would showcase a different side of him, one that was more focused on uplifting his community rather than perpetuating the cycle of violence. He had plans to collaborate with local organizations to create job opportunities for the youth and to provide resources for those struggling to make ends meet. Sadly, his life was cut short before he could see these plans come to fruition. YBC Dole's death is a stark reminder of the harsh realities that many young people face in cities like Philadelphia. The cycle of violence and retaliation seems never-ending, and the loss of promising young talent like Dole is a tragedy that impacts the entire community. As his fans mourn his loss, many are left wondering what could have been if Dole had the chance to fully realize his dreams and make a lasting positive impact on his city. The story of YBC Dole is a cautionary tale about the dangers of the street life and the importance of seeking a better path. While his legacy is marked by controversy and violence, it's also a story of a young man who wanted to rise above his circumstances and make a difference. His untimely death serves as a call to action for those who remain to work towards breaking the cycle and creating a safer, more supportive environment for future generations.